Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to the Fallible Fandom. Liam was right behind the scenes. We've taken 1 week off, and I just completely forgotten how everything works. So, it would be me without technical difficulties. But welcome to a very, very special birthday-themed stream, as it is my one and only's birthday today. So, happy birthday.
I thought you were going to say it with mine.
No.
Happy birthday,
no. Happy birthday to my one and only. I love you more than anything. I hope you had a nice day. I can't wait to spend every year with you and every day with you. You're my everything, and I cherish you. So, shut up. So,
we get the, like in sitcoms when they have when something like emotional happens, you get the track.
Oh, you want some sappy music with it? Yeah. We need DJ Eric for that, but I didn't. I was so rushed, I didn't send him an invite. I didn't want him to feel rushed. But I sent him one just in case. But so how are you doing, Liam?
I'm all right. My daughter's been ill all week, so that's been nice to deal with. Long and exhausting days and nights.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I hope she gets better soon.
Did manage to watch X-Men though.
Yeah. Patrick, how you doing?
Good. It's good to be back. I haven't been here in quite a while.
I know you've been busy working, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
Well, it fell through, but hopefully I'll have something soon.
Fingers crossed. I know you're a great guy, so they'll be lucky to have you.
Ooh, thank you.
Very welcome. So, mainly the main show to talk about today. There's not a lot of news. I've been a bit rushed on everything. I've got one bit of news. If Flash Week's got a bit of news, I'm very excited by. But we weren't here last week, and this week's been a bit rushed. So we got X-Men to talk about. Oh, Knuckles, right? I watched Knuckles.
I meant to watch that because I have a Paramount Plus, but my subscription just ended, so I need to upgrade my update my card on it. But yeah, I can't wait there because I love Knuckles. He's my favorite Sonic character.
Yeah, it is awesome to see him in action again. I honestly we'll get into it in a bit, but I wasn't that interested when the show was announced. I was kind of just like, okay, it's just another thing. They're just expanding the universe, trying to match everything else, and that's fine, good for them. But I'm only going to be watching it to kind of talk about it and see what I would be missing otherwise. But so far, I'm actually really enjoying it. It's actually a really, really funny show.
They released all the episodes at once, didn't they?
They have, yeah. I'm on this. I've watched the second episode. I'm on the third one. I've got to say, I'm actually more interested than I thought I would be. And Kid Cudi's in it, so that's a win. Yes. So this is the news that I asked Flash Week to share. That I was phenomenally excited by.
The MCU's Madison just made her Marvel return, but it's not where you think, and they misspelled think. Anyway, One of She-Hulk's breakout stars is appearing in an unlikely spot, and it's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Instead, Madison King pops up in a first look in an upcoming issue of What If Venom #3.
Oh, Venom Madison. Can you imagine? Oh, wow. Here he is. Oh, my God. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing? Whoa.
I feel
Whoa.
naked.
Where has it gone?
Whoa.
Oh, my gosh.
It was funny. I was saying,
What?
thinking when I was watching your stream this, and I was like, I wonder how Darren would look with a fully shaved head and a shaved facial hair.
I'm
be
never doing the whole Lex Luthor look. That's never happening for me.
Give it time. Give it time.
How's it going?
We're doing good. How you doing this week?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Glad to be back.
It's good to have you here. Good to have you here. Have you watched X-Men or Knuckles?
I've seen X-Men. I will
Okay.
binge Knuckles tonight.
Okay. I've watched 2 episodes of Knuckles. I've watched X-Men, obviously. And then I watched 2 other movies this week that I want to talk about. That obviously I'm sure nobody else has seen.
Did anybody?
But they were very, very good. They were very, very good, and they need watching. So
Did anybody see James Gunn's Facebook post earlier?
James Bond?
No, James Gunn.
Oh no!
James Bond.
Sorry, if your mic is hard to
It's
hear.
next to a like figurines of Superman and Lois.
Okay.
So,
Was it on Twitter or Instagram?
Facebook.
Facebook.
It's a
Facebook.
Well, speaking of that, can we just bring up that it's kind of like it doesn't feel real that the last CW superhero show has finished rolling.
That is a sad state of affairs. But as I said before, with like when it was announced that what James Gunn was doing, yes, it's sad. We are heartbroken. We miss the shows. It's going to be a tough transition, but once we get that final product, I genuinely think we're all going to be very, very happy, and it'll be worth it. It will have been worth it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, just for like the brand for DC as a whole, like we can argue like all the things we've lost as terms of like CW stuff and what HBO Max is doing, but like for the mainstream films and for the brand like recognition as a whole, we're gonna be like, thank God we went this direction. Thank goodness. And then hopefully once he gets everything kind of situated, maybe then we can start looking to other like Elseworld start things. Like, you know, there's obviously a lot of people that really wanted that like Batman Beyond movie that was shut down.
Yeah.
And like, but once he gets things put that together, he could be like, you know what? Yeah, go for it. Maybe
yeah, exactly.
We can finally do like that Smallville show that people have been wanting them to do. Maybe we could do an Arrow movie in 8 years once everything's kind of in place. But we're just really in that like breakup phase at the moment where that all our shows are gone and there's nothing to show for it at the moment. But you're right. Once we get there, we're golden.
Yeah, exactly. I think like you're right. Once the characters are cemented, like there will be like easier green lights on variants, in my opinion, because when your franchise is chopping and changing actors all the time and this and reboots, like the lay fan will get confused. So like they're like, well, which Batman am I supposed to follow? You know, well, this is the one you're following, but you can also have a look at this guy. You know, we've got him in the back room. You know,
follow them all. Enjoy it what it is.
Yeah. So, Flashback, can you pull up that news that we were looking at before?
I just took it off because I thought we were done discussing it.
No, you were halfway through reading it.
I need to read the whole thing. All right.
So basically, the idea is it's fine. We'll move on. It's fine. the idea is that Madison, the wonderful character from She-Hulk, who everybody fell in love with, especially Wong. Not like that. Not like that. They're just great besties. That's all they need to be. Has made it to the comics, and good for her. Good for her.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the shit that She-Hulk gets as a show, and the effort they made, I love that happened. I love that happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing that would make it better is if they managed to get She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerking in there. Just throw that in somehow. Just
to piss people off.
Just to piss people off. That'd be so good.
Yeah.
I will say.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I always am a big fan when that happens, when like these TV shows make these like OG characters, and then they can transcend the show or movie that they're in. Like Coulson did that over in like the Avengers movies. Harley Quinn is probably the most famous version of that. Terry from like Batman Beyond also did that. Of course, we can talk about the Arrowverse characters like Diggle and Dreamer and stuff like that. And I'm even more curious about the announcement that literally just came out about the new original character that we're getting in the MCU, which I imagine will be transcended into comics, as big of an actor as he is.
Right, so this is literally the next news, Darren. That is an amazing segue.
What a great segue. That's why I'm here.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. Wonderful work. You are earning your paycheck. Let me quickly get rid of this copyright strike. So, Giancarlo Esposito is finally joining the MCU, but not as who you think. So, but no, he's not playing Professor X.
Dang.
So everybody had him as Professor X. Who did they have as Magneto then?
Oh God, I forget his name. He's a very big actor. God damn it, his name's blanking me. Hold on. It's not coming to me. I'm sorry.
Sorry, no pressure. So basically, Giancarlo has been fan cast as everything from Professor X to Doctor Doom to who was the other ones? Doctor Doom,
Magneto,
Kang, Magneto.
Yeah.
Like
Denzel Washington is what a lot of people wanted as Magneto.
Ooh, okay, that would be interesting.
I do love Denzel. So.
Oh, can you imagine like a physically active Magneto that's like just punching people in the face? He's not even throwing metal at nobody anymore. He's just like they're just straight punching people.
Do you know who would play a perfect Doctor Doom? Because he already kind of looks like him. It's Robert.
How the fuck do I look like Doom?
I know, you just give me that Doctor Doom 5.
I will be if you don't start watching X-Men 97.
Flash Freak, how dare you?
I know, right? That gasp is appropriate.
I've been watching Supernatural.
Why?
Because
rewatching it?
No, watching it.
Oh, okay. That's valid at least.
I've been I've been also rewatching Dragon Ball Super. So
right, but at the cost of other stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and especially X-Men 97, which is a goddamn masterpiece and a work of art.
Oh, I'll get around to watching. It's just,
no. It deserves so much more respect than I'll get round to it. Okay, you drop what you're doing.
I have not seen the original show. You
don't have to.
You don't have to. This is stunning. Like the storytelling in this, the animation, like the goddamn fights, all of it.
Yeah.
Well, Spider-Man showed up, so I might watch him.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
Here's what you do, Daniel. You know what? In your defense, I understand there's a lot to watch out there. I'm always being like, I gotta pick everything. Here's what you do.
There's a lot. It's 8 episodes.
Wait 2 weeks, and then do a binge, and really enjoy it. like just spend the day and be like, all right, I'm gonna view this masterpiece, even though I think it's better weekly. Even though I think the joy I've had, my main joy I've had with it is literally me and Darth every Sunday just being like, this is so good, that we talk about it. But as long as you see it, just it's so good.
I think if it's ending in 2 weeks, then I might just wait till it's over.
Yeah, that's what I would do at this point.
Like, what you could do is like catch up and then finish it with everybody else. Do you know what I mean? So you don't miss out.
That's what I did with Better Call Saul. I binged the 6 seasons, and then I finally got caught up for the final episode. Which was great.
Like I was behind on Shogun, right? I was a couple of weeks behind on Shogun, and then I sat and watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell have I been missing out on?" And then I was week to week, and I was there just chomping at the bit, just holding onto the table when it ended. It's like, no, how can you end it there? Ah! It's like, what have you done? And it was so good, and I'm so glad that I like week to week I was there, and I was like, and I knew that I was experiencing that with everybody else. That's the issue with like just dumping a whole series like they've done with Knuckles.
Yeah,
Can we just segue this into saying that I hope they do a Spider-Man like reboot, like a reboot of like the Spider-Man 90 show, because that one I did watch.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm with you 1,000,000% on that one.
Yeah, I think more from that universe is coming no matter what. I think the show's been too successful. I think the mainline MCU shows have not been doing well for them, and I think this might be their secret sauce. I think it's like, we want to make Marvel shows for Disney Plus, but the MCU shows haven't been performing well. We're putting too much money into them. They're not what we want them to be. How about we just make shows for a new Marvel universe? I think that's what they might go for. Now, if they go for Spider-Man right away, will be another question, because the main thing I've been seeing from people is like, yes, but you have the other Spider-Man show right now.
That's what I was about to say.
Is like, do you want 2 Spider-Man shows at the same time? And I'd be like, you know what? That's valid. So what I would do in this case, I would probably be like, all right, we have the other Spider-Man show. How about we launch an Avengers show or whatever? And there's the Avengers on the outside. And that runs, like that and X-Men runs for a couple years. And then maybe in 3 to 4 years, we're like, okay, Spider-Man 98 is coming out, and that's the show or whatever. But no, like when that happened, Darth, I was like, oh, he's gonna be so happy. He's gonna be so happy. I got So I was gonna wait until we started talking about X-Men, but so one of the reasons. No, it's fine. It's fine. One of the reasons for the name of this podcast is to admit when you're wrong, to admit when you're human, right? So on Darren's podcast, after the credits, I was talking about a continuity error where I believed that Captain America would have been off in time with Red Skull. But after that interaction in the same series, after that, Secret Wars happened, right? Where Spider-Man, the Beyonder, and Madam Web were all having a thing, and he plucked heroes from the timeline, which were Iron Man, the Fantastic Four, Captain America, and Storm. And then would have presumably put them back. Now, the question... So I was wrong. Captain America turning up with Rogue and stuff, absolutely fine. What does need to be answered is how Spider-Man is now there, right? Because if you remember at the end of Spider-Man series, he was off in that portal going to fight Spider-Carnage, right? And then boom, end of the series, right? So what I would like is when they do hopefully do a revival of the Spider-Man show, is we get that question answered of how he's back, Yeah.
But I was wrong. I was wrong.
Oh.
I'm human. I can admit it. I was pushing. I was pushing.
Wrong, so.
Shut up. I was pushing to find an answer for where Captain America was for Darren's Dream instead of just letting it go, which I could have done. But I was pushing myself to find an answer, and I rushed and I got it wrong. So there you go.
Okay, here's my question though. With that,
Mm.
just because I haven't seen the Spider-Man show yet. After this last week's episode, I was like, I'm gonna do that after.
Oh,
next month.
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Spoiler
No,
alert.
that's okay. It's been freaking 30 years. I came out before I was even alive. It's fine now. Right? It's
Okay.
fine. I'll probably forget that by the time I get there. But so Spider-Man ended in 1998, from what I understand. If X-Men 97 takes place in 97, if the current show is taking place in 97, maybe the events in Spider-Man hasn't even happened yet. So
Dude, you're
this is like a
genius,
prequel
man.
to the finale, maybe.
You are a goddamn genius.
Although there's also a time jump with X-Men, so I'm not sure if we are in 98. That's confusing to me. Right? Because the show
And
ended
then, like,
in
literally not everything in his life was addressed. So, like, the world stopping for a brief moment, that doesn't have to have come up given how crazy, like, Spider-Man's life is. So you've just, boom, handled that for me straight away. Thank you so much. That's amazing work. That's amazing work. Just, beautiful. So before we get into the wonderful world of X-Men, this is apparently a completely new character separate from the comics or the MCU so far. It's going to be in the MCU, and it's just going to be a completely brand new character. I cannot wait. I genuinely cannot wait. I'm so curious. Giancarlo Esposito was one of my favorite parts of the Mandalorian series. He plays a villain so well, as fans of Breaking Bad will attest to. For somebody, oh my God, he just has a presence. He just has a presence. And I do wonder how long we have him for.
Yeah.
Not to, like, see, that's where I got to just stop myself, right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, we are getting a fresh cast of elderly gentlemen, and I'm fine with that. But my worry is, like, we're going to really, really enjoy you, and then I feel that we're just going to be bereft of you, and I worry. And it's just because I want more of you, is all I'm saying, And another thing I have to admit that I was wrong about, like, this is all the fucking, this is Fallible Fandom, the apology tour, right? So, this is the thing. I will always admit when I'm wrong, okay? Hugh Jackman, right? So that man has done some serious work, and he has got, like, gains for days, right? So I said previously that you could see that age had started to become a factor in his workout and muscle mass and routine, right? I don't know if he heard that or what and took it as an insult, but sweet Jesus, that man went out, and for Deadpool 3, the second those sleeves come off, Jesus Christ, that man has just got insane arms. Like, he's done really, really well for himself.
Well, I do have the picture if you want to pull it up.
So yeah,
shots from the movie.
Yeah. This is with sleeves, but there's a without sleeves in the trailer, and yeah, wow, very, very, very impressive work. Congratulations, all your hard work has paid off, and once again, I eat my words. So good stuff.
I would also say that, like, he is also playing an older version of Logan, which I think helps. Like, it's not like it's like 20. It's not like 2000s Logan. It's not like X2 Logan or whatever. It's like, from what I hear, this is this is an adaptation of Old Man Logan, and what they're doing with him there. And I think it works that he's a little bit more older. I think his entire story, like, from the trailer, is that his entire world died, right? He's just been living his life alone. So his age works, I think.
Yeah, but did he kill them, like the X-Men in this world, or?
No, he failed to be a hero. Like, he failed them from the
It could be both.
Context of the trailer.
Could be both.
I've heard the theory that he kills his X-Men. Like, he's like mind controlled to kill them. and like that's how he fails them, which I think would be really dark. And if you're going the whole like rated R route, like oh my gosh, that could be brutal. Just getting to see him like viscerally murder them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, see, I would say I don't know if they would show that, but the trailer where he's like, "Should we wait for a third act flashback?" That might be exactly where we would see it. Oh my god!
Well, did you see when Ryan Reynolds says that this movie is like gonna be the most like Deadpool movie? Like it's gonna have so much things that constitute the R rating.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Well, there's only like a number of things that they can do, isn't there, before like it goes even beyond that, you know?
Right.
Well, there's nothing beyond R.
X.
Banned. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's X, but that's not this type of film.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if it goes,
I'm just saying, like,
there is stuff
I'm
you
just
can't
saying,
put
like,
in theaters.
sorry,
Yeah. Yeah, no, like there is a limit where like, oh yeah, we can't show this in a movie theater. Like,
Really?
you can't...
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought R you could show basically anything.
No.
Yeah, I don't know the limit. I don't know where that line is exactly.
That's my exact point. Is I'm really curious, like how close to the line he's danced up to it in the hills that he was dancing with Celine Dion. You know, like just he is an artist, and it's just going to be so much fun.
Oh, I can't wait for this movie. Unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to hit $1 billion. I think you're going to get maybe like 850. I don't think
No.
Just because the MC's kind of been dragging a little bit. I would love to see it get $1 billion.
Dude, this like one, I wouldn't say it's been dragging in a sense. It's everything's being dragging. We're in a like cost of living crisis, right?
Yeah,
so everything's kind of slowing down, right?
So
I wouldn't say
anything else.
So I wouldn't say it's suffering more than anything else. I would just say everybody's suffering, right?
Yeah.
So, but this movie like unites so many people, right? And then when word of mouth hits, like with the first Deadpool movie, I promise you, because just it's just going to bring so many people together. It's so funny. It's going to have heart in it, as all the Deadpool movies do, but it's just going to be sheer hilarity and action, and like it's just going to be like 2 hours of people just being able to switch off, you know. I'm
going to be seeing this opening opening night.
Oh, Liam and I are going opening day. Sorry.
No. I was going to say the only thing I think that holds it back from $1 billion, I think if this was any other rating, it'd be $1 billion by miles. I do think the R rating is tough. It is hard for R-rated films to get over that $1 billion mark. Not saying it won't. I'm not saying it won't, because I think if it doesn't, it will get very close. But it isn't like a Spider-Man. It isn't like a Shang-Chi, where like, because I feel like the main MCU audience is like a whole family gathering, right? It's like you and all the kids, and you get the popcorn, and it's a Saturday afternoon activity with the family.
But here's the thing with that, though.
Yeah.
At my movie theater, when I grew up in California, they didn't care. So basically, I said this on stream before, but there was like, so you got your tickets at the booth outside. You went in, showed the person your tickets, then there was another exit right past that. So what parents would do is they'd buy the tickets, we'd go in the theater, show the tickets, and then the parents would just exit that door. Yeah. And they didn't even care. There was one time, I think it was maybe the second Deadpool movie, where me and my buddy went, and we showed the tickets, and the person at the counter was like, "Oh, you guys 18?" We were like, "No, parents bought the tickets." And you're like, "Oh, okay, you're fine." Like, they didn't care.
Oh yeah, so, I mean, if your parents buy the tickets, they don't care. But it's still not going to. Again, I think this still will make $1 billion. Like, I'm not against that. I am just like, that's one thing you have to take into like consideration.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
There's also the element of 2 weeks after this comes out, we get a Despicable Me 4, which is a box office body bag.
Yeah.
People love those Despicable Me movies, so we'll be like, oh, now we're gonna be watching this. I think
have an insane fan base.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I think if it's not going to make $1 billion, it's going to get really damn close. It's going to get really damn close to $1 billion, and it doesn't have to get to $1 billion. I think people have blown up the importance of $1 billion. A blockbuster movie does not need $1 billion at the box office.
No.
They're fine with 800 million, 700 million. That's a good number. Still,
for sure. I just think for the most part, like Deadpool hits like a lot of demographics. I don't think it singles anybody out. Or like pushes anybody away. I think everybody loves Deadpool. It's something everybody just enjoys. It's just so easy to like. So I think like until like Despicable Me comes out, like it's just gonna be a lot of default choice. But you're right, like the R rating is like a massive thing to take into consideration. I didn't think about that. You're absolutely right. But again, you're right as well in that it doesn't need to. I just think it'll be really, really nice for it to.
It'd be cool.
Especially if this is Hugh Jackman's genuine swan song as Wolverine and like this is it, then what a way to go out.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I think this movie at the very least will get 800 million.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I would also say that like I do think it is important for a movie like this to do well as well, for just like the MCU as a whole, because like Daniel was saying, I don't disagree that I do think the MCU is in a little bit of a slump. Like there's a lot of things at play there with the strikes and COVID and stuff like that. But there's, what was I saying? I do think the MCU needs a win right now. I think it's very important for them to pull off a win. And I think they can continue to do so. Like, if you look at the schedule, like, Captain America is in February. And I also think that could be a big win for them. I just think after... Because what was the last MCU movie? The Marvels?
I don't know.
That's the last one?
Yeah, the
Movie,
Marvels,
probably the Marvels,
Yeah. I love that movie. Didn't do well for them. It wasn't good for, like, publicity's sakes. What? Then after that was Guardians, which did do well. Guardians did well. I'm trying to look at the timeline.
I don't think this has any naysayers.
No.
Does this have anybody like from the usual channels that are like, oh, like work this, work that, or like, oh, you should boycott this movie? Like, I think this just has everybody on board.
Which is really funny that they say that, because Deadpool in the comics is so woke.
So woke.
Yeah.
That man will fuck anybody. Like, Deadpool would hate those channels. They like Deadpool would sit there being like, yo, shut the fuck up, you're stupid. Like, that's what he would do. Like, he would hate those people.
Oh my god. Yeah. I would be so happy if Deadpool in this movie calls out those channels like a forceful break.
I mean, She-Hulk did, and people hated it for it.
Yeah, but as soon as Deadpool does it, everybody loves it.
Yeah, I like Deadpool gets a pass on everything. This is the whole thing we were talking about again, like he's saying in the She-Hulk show, which is annoying and unfair. But yeah, I think people are going to be looking for it, though.
Like, because more people have heard of Deadpool and not She-Hulk, they will read more Deadpool than they have She-Hulk, so they don't understand the fourth wall break by her.
Yeah, but then I also think people are going to be looking for things in this movie to be like, oh, Disney ruined Deadpool. Fuck Disney. Fuck the woke cult. Like, that's what they're going to be looking for in this movie, unfortunately. Like, any, like, innuendo, anything, which, unfortunate, but...
Okay, so I put in Deadpool 3 in incognito mode, right? And the only narrative... What? What's the...
Why in incognito? What? You know, so incognito
no
doesn't
like,
matter.
So my
anymore,
channel,
right?
like, so there's no bias from my channel.
You know, incognito.
So I'm trying to get.
Anymore.
I'm trying to get like genuine, like a genuine like gauge of the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a quick look, and there's trailers for Deadpool 3 when you just search Deadpool 3, and then the only other thing on there is people trying to now, I don't know, like turn people against Kevin Feige or something, because they're trying to say that he didn't want Hugh Jackman back. And he was like, why Kevin Feige told Hugh Jackman not to return as Wolverine. And it's just like, why has it got to be? Well, no, I'm trying to get rid of that. Why do?
Those people hop in my streams all the time. One of them just DM'd me on Twitter.
Oh, so they're following you, are they? Okay.
I guess so.
Good to know.
I guess I'm just that attractive. I don't know.
Sorry, my cat's an idiot. She just climbed on top of the kitten. She just climbed on top of my PC where the fan is. She's just stuck her claws through it and like wondering what it is. And all I heard was, like, just had to pick her up and take her off.
Oh, I fucking love her. She's great.
She's crazy, mate. She's a nightmare.
All right,
Okay.
so you have the next thing pulled up if we're done talking about Deadpool.
The next thing to bring up is X-Men 97.
Oh, I was going to bring up something else first.
What's that? Good.
I cannot wait for this. I thought this season was going to come out later, but I guess they already had it pretty much done when season 1 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So May 25th, I usually just watch it on Max later. So May 26th for me, My Adventures with Superman season 2 is coming out. I cannot wait.
No, I loved season 1. I loved season 1 of Superman. I thought it was such a breath fresh of air.
I didn't think I was going to like it, and I absolutely loved it. I genuinely did, and my main question
you don't
now
like
is
you don't like anything, so
Krypton.
I had your live reaction to like that trailer for the first time. Like it was, I think you were on the pipeline when that trailer had like come out. And we like watched it. I like showed it to you for the first time, and like I remember you being like, "I'm not sure about this one," and then it came out, and you were like, "Oh yeah, this is solid." This is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is really good. I love their Jimmy as well. I really love their Jimmy, and then the sports guy, he's hilarious. It's just all done so well, honestly.
So wholesome, yeah.
And I also cannot
Jack
wait.
Jack Quaid is voicing Superman. I have to admit, I was unsure on the casting, but it works so well. Like he does it so well. He does it. Oh my god, yeah.
I think it works so well because, like, when you look at Jack, he's to Superman to like he's to what our real world would be a Superman. Where if I look at Jack Quaid and be like, Superman? No, Jack's not Superman. He's so skinny and little and weak. He's not. No way. And then it's like, oh, and like he plays that perfect part. He's a perfect. And then when he does go into Superman mode, it's like, oh, I see it. It really does work here. It's great.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay.
I also can't wait to see this version of Kara.
Yep.
Or Kara, as they said in Smallville.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, just this absolute masterpiece. I keep saying it. I'm gonna say it. We had a break last week, so we didn't get to talk about the other episode. Bright Eyes, right? And then this one is Acceptance is Extinction, Part 1 of Part 3.
Tolerance.
How do we feel about it this week?
I loved the episode. It was fantastic. Each week they just like outdo themselves each week. You're like, how are they going to outdo this? And then the following episode comes and it's just like, bang, just smashed out of the park again. It's like, how do they keep doing this?
Couldn't agree more. How
Yeah.
did you feel about it, Darren?
No, I mean, we said on our thing last week where each week I just feel like I'm giving the same review, and I feel like it's getting tiring. Me just saying like, it's been a perfect show. It's like to me, it's been one of my favorite things Marvel's ever put out. Like maybe that's like recency biased, maybe, or like at least under Marvel Studios. Like I have just loved every episode of the show, and
absolutely,
it did really feel like it felt like the first act of a movie, and that's honestly kind of, I think, like the template of this 3-parter. I think once it's done, I want to watch them all in one, because I have a feeling it's going to be like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 of this incredible first season. It's going to be so hard for them to live up to this in coming seasons. Like there's so many of these like superhero shows that we talk about where they peak in their first season, and I could totally understand if that's what X-Men 97 is. It's just like that first season being so good. It's gonna be so hard for them to
I feel the same way. Like that is really, really hard to top. I also feel like if they didn't take like a big break, I feel like the narrative of season 2 is going to be so tight to season 1 that they might be able to keep it going. Right. I feel like when there's a big shift, like once we deal with Bastion in season 2 and we don't have another big bad that follows or as a consequence of what's happening, and then there's a time jump and we get like a full fresh like new take in the world, I think that's going to be the test.
Sure.
Personally. Okay, so like last week we had Rogue on. We'll just have a quick recap. We had Rogue hunting down Bolivar Trask after the events of Genosha, where everybody suffered, and we had the loss of Remy or Gambit, and then Captain America tried stopping her. And Darren, you told me that a lot of people were upset about that. And
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but there was definitely a lot of back and forth throughout the week where like, should Captain America be ridden this way? Should he be more of a like going against like the government? Because he was very much like a lapdog in this episode, like for the government, being like, I can't do this because it would look bad on me and in my country and stuff like that. And we had talked about like the idea of like, yeah, but it'd be pretty cool to see an arc, like him go through an arc and like realizing, oh, I can't do that for my government. Like I need to stand up for what I believe in, even if I am wearing these stars and stripes. So
exactly, yeah,
we'll see.
And then we had, I'm sure I remember, we had Storm also finding out. We had Scott having a hissy fit in with the camera crew, being upset about Nathan, saying that we are better than you. And then we had some stuff with Roberto and his mother, where she was talking about hiding his identity because of stock price. And I'm not sure if that's like partly just for her, or if it is, or like if she is just worried about what everybody else feels. And then everybody converges to find Rogue after she touches Trask and then gets like a whole Sentinel shock. And then they go and confront Trask, find out he's not the big bad guy Mr. Sinister is, but even then there's somebody beyond him. And then Rogue just drops Trask and kills him, at which point he turns into the Sentinel and just starts kicking everybody's ass. And there's an amazing fight scene last week. Just seeing everybody going full throttle. Jean just being a real powerhouse with the psychic stuff. Because most of the time that she's portrayed without the Phoenix Force, it's like like a lot of effort and like not much happening. So it's nice to see that they're just really just letting her stretch out and just show how powerful she is. And it's always great seeing Cyclops' blasts. And then Cable comes and saves the day with an EMP. And that's where we get this week's episode taking place. And we start off with Bastion, which we learned last week. He has Magneto hostage. Dun, 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 dun. He sits there and gloats to Mr. Sinister about his plan. And Mr. Sinister said that instead of revealing his hand and his a part of his plan through Trask and attacking them, he would have waited until they had like a bunch more and then just overwhelm them at once. At which point Bastion says, well, that's why I don't want to do that. That's what you would have done. And all of you have been failing since 1992, which I think is when the show started.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Because surely the X-Men went before that. I don't think the show didn't start on the X-Men's day one, you know.
No. Yeah.
So it's funny. That is funny. Like a nice little joke there. And then we get Jean and quickly about Bastion as well, right? So when he keeps talking, I kept thinking, I know that voice.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking it was Neil McDonough, but it's a Mr. Theo something. Have a quick look. He was also in Divergent, Insurgent, or whatever, and Allegiant, and all of that business. All cast and crew. Where is he?
Yes, the board.
Theo James.
Yes.
Mr. Theo James. A wonderful actor. There's been many, many things, and he is doing really well as the villain Bastion. What were you saying, Flashwick?
We got some breaking news, or this is a couple hours ago, but Star Wars Skeleton Crew will be released in Disney Plus in December.
I saw that.
Nice. On me.
Big years for Star Wars.
Yes. Especially with the
TV at
Acolyte
least.
show.
The Acolyte,
cannot
Bad
wait.
Batch. Is there something else coming out too?
Yeah, Tales of the Empire
Here's
tomorrow.
the Empire. Yeah.
Which is a really good series. Tales of the Jedi was fantastic, and I think Tales of the Empire will be just the same. Won't have Mace Windu and Count Dooku in it. It's going to have Barriss Offee and somebody else, but very, very excited.
Yeah.
So we had Jean and Scott discussing Cable, and Scott talking about how easy the professor made it look, and his sadness that he didn't ask how he did it, you know, being a good dad and stuff. And Jean tells Cyclops to look at the situation with a new perspective and see that Cable was reaching out for his father, which is why he's there, and you know, which is really nice. Pardon me. Last week we see that Scott realized that Cable, after all this time, was Nathan. Imagine that. Imagine like having this like rough and ready apocalypse war world kind of dude just turn up in your time zone and just be a part of your life. And the whole time you have your opinion of him, whatever, and then boom, you find out that's your son that you sent off into the future. How would you? That's insane. That's such a mind flip, isn't it? Oh my god. So yeah, he's all over the place at the moment. Scott is, understandably so, but he keeps taking it out on people that don't deserve it. So Beast gives a rundown of the new Sentinels, and we see Cable's future. We see the quote-unquote utopia, but where mutants are subjugated. And see this is like a really, really interesting thing that's just popped in my head. So one of the questions that I brought up on other streams and on Darren's stream is, why won't or don't the mutants and people with powers in these worlds help the infrastructure? Right? Because, say, for example, like an Invincible, Duplicate, right, will be great for blood banks. Magneto, great for construction, you know, like all of those things. And then, like, this answers that, because, like, yes, that could happen, but then also exploitation happens.
Sure. Greed
happens. And a wonderful line, like a horrific line, is when you like, what was it? When you like, put too much tragedy on a situation, and when you have no skin in the game, the easiest answer is apathy. You know?
Yeah.
And like that's what he's forcing on humans. Like such horrors are being committed against these people. You have to either stand up and say no and fight with and for them, or just now turn a blind eye.
Sure.
You know, like he's fully challenging these people, and like the show is so meta on so many levels. It's just so insane, and it's so socially aware. I love that about this show and X-Men, and it always has been, you know, and that's
always, yeah.
That's its great skill.
You brought up like a really good point there, and one of the things I think I really was just thinking about it, like they bring up within the episode, where it's like, what's the point of a taxi driver if someone can just loop you there, can just take you there? And this idea of like, yeah, mutants could literally like take down the structure of the government and like our social gatherings and stuff like that. And like back when Gen V was going on, me and Darth really were talking about almost every week about like, well, yeah, these conversations about like having powers doesn't mean you have to be a superhero. Like, why aren't people in coffee shops? Why aren't they firefighters? Why aren't they, why aren't they doctors? Why aren't they lawyers? Why aren't they things that can help the like society? And the answer to that might be, well, they could, but they might destroy the like structure of how we live our day-to-day lives. Like, yeah, that's a great point of like, and that's been one of the main themes of the season is like, what happens when you outgrow your own race, when like when someone else is kind of, and humans have always been like the prominent race, right? It's always, we've always been like the top of the food chain. And a lot of that fear comes from, we're no longer at the top of the food chain. We're no longer at the top of our gang. How do we feel about that? And like misunderstanding causes fear, and fear causes violence, and that's where we're at this season. So it's really fascinating.
Yeah, especially like as he said, in the future, like mutants start outnumbering humans.
Yeah.
So like humans do start becoming the minority and then like pushed out and extinct. But if that wasn't the case, and it did remain like a true percentage like squabble, like it would be a case of having to adapt with the future, because like it's what like Cyclops said to Trask, which then was like repeated back to him by Bastion. Like each one of them feels like they're leaving the last person behind because they're more progressive and just stronger and smarter and like just understand more of the world and this and this and this, and it's our world now kind of thing.
Sure.
It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy how good this show is. It's just so good. It's just so good. It's like, how does it have any right being this good? Like, I genuinely thought, like this might just be a cash grab, like like the whole retro thing, because retro is so nostalgia is just permeating the zeitgeist at the moment. It's just everywhere, right? And then so I thought, oh, here we go, here's another one. And then it just elevated the game so much. It's just doing so well. Yeah, I mean, and it's not even just like, it's just skating by. It's just a good show. It's a goddamn amazing show. I cannot speak highly enough. Each week they just keep pushing and raising the bar. I am beyond excited and so curious about next week. Like, we're gonna get to it, but oh my God, when that bald head just popped out of that fucking spaceship, I lost my shit, man. I'm sorry. Positive rant over. Let's get back to it. So we had the X-Men see the TV as it announces Charles's marriage to Ilyana, whatever her name is. What was her name?
I can't remember.
Alana? Flash break, Darren? No one?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I won't know it.
Luandra, I think, is her name.
Alandra, yes.
Sorry about that.
Oh my God. What have I just clicked? There you go. There you go. Thank God. Whoever let me in the technology. Okay. So we see his announcement, and we see them say that like the cat's out of the bag, like everybody now knows. And what's interesting is that the journalists couldn't help but put a side onto it by branding it a scandal. Do you know what I mean? Like, they hadn't asked everybody. Like, it was breaking news. They yes, the X-Men said that he died, right? But nobody sits there and goes to like the FBI and say, hey, your witness protection program is a real sham.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, that's what it is. Just a witness relocation program for a high-profile person just on a galactic scale, right? But then you have the news sitting there saying, oh, well, they just lied to gain mutant sympathy and then just ensconced him away, So, I don't know. I just feel like the journalists are POSs, in my opinion.
Sorry, I'm just reading something totally unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Majors is on the ballot for Best Actor.
In what role?
Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Creed, he was really good in Creed.
And also, Puff Daddy is also listed for Album of the Year and Track of the Year and Collaboration of the Year.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine, like, if he has to do an acceptance speech from jail?
I don't think he's actually going to jail. Like, he's not, like, he's being sentenced, but he's not actually going to prison.
How do you not?
Yeah.
Because they didn't.
For all of that stuff, like, so much historic, like, profound abuse. I mean, I know a lot of it is, like, public perception being thrust on it and, like, all, like, this and this and this, but even just poor Cassie's accounts, and then you have the other women that have come forward. So, like, that's shocking. Some accountability needs to happen for sure. That's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a thing where, like, his career is never going to be the same, right? Like he's never.
Mm.
I'm not saying he's never going to act again because we hear stories about that all the time about actors coming back and being able to come back from like a prison sentence, but like he's always going to be thought of like, oh, the guy that like the MCU actor that got arrested that one time, or that almost went to jail, whatever.
Well, so I would say yes and no, right? Because look at it's not like exactly the same, but look at Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
You know, like that guy was just all over the place, and now like everybody's just loving him off like he's Santa. Like what the fuck, you know? And then Harvey Weinstein, one of his convictions might be overturned in a way, but then he still has another jail sentence. So like, there's a possibility that in a few years or however long that he could be out,
Right.
which is just absolutely horrendous. But back to X-Men. So then we see Diary found murdered as well, which also
doesn't look great
just-
on them. Yeah.
just does not look great. There's so much being plastered against the X-Men. And then the crazy thing is, right, is they've got a MacGuffin in a wheelchair, right? Well, if he's got his exosuit, they've got a walking MacGuffin, right?
Yeah.
But he will not use his power for principles and morals, right? He could genuinely just change everybody's opinion
Yeah.
with Cerebro, but chooses not to, which is insane because, like, his people are being oppressed, hunted, like, killed, you know? And, like, he genuinely, like, has the ability to just end it at any point, but chooses not to because there is a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
Yeah, that's I think that's one of the things I wasn't quite, not to go off track and just like bash on another thing, but I think that's one of the things that the movies didn't get right, in my opinion. And I'm not sure what the comics fully did with him and stuff, but like what I love about this continuity is, yeah, his big thing is like, no, I won't go into people's minds unless I have the consent. And then you just have like the movie one being like, yeah, I'll do like the Jedi mind trick on them, and I'll read Logan's mind at any given point. It's like, what about morals, man? Like aren't you gonna ask first? I think that's what makes Charles such an interesting character. He's like, you're right, he could end the war now. He could end all of it right now, but he won't because it's the right thing to do. Which I think it's interesting.
So then Roberto and Jubilee clash with Roberto's mother over mutants. More Jubilee and his mother clashing over her opinions, which are not great. She is really showing herself to be an arsehole.
Yeah.
If we're honest.
Jubilee or Roberto's mum?
Roberto's mum.
Oh, right, yeah.
Roberto's mum. I didn't think I'd say this, but I am on Jubilee's side. Like I love Jubilee at the moment. Honestly,
Thank God for Roberto's trust fund, eh?
She's like, I'm buying this. Thank you.
Well, you say that, yeah, but you say that, but I wonder if he didn't have that trust fund, would his mother still be acting the same way?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is it.
You know, so
they were like a poor family.
Yeah, like would she still be being such a bitch? You know. But again, like a great allegory for other situations, you know, like being queer or being a minority and things like that. Just not being accepted and like trying to be hidden away and things like that, and then other people having to stand up and say, no, that's not the way that we are going to be treated, or they should be treated, you know. So no, that's not how it's going to happen. I don't care about your profit margins. Go fuck yourself, you know. So yeah, I should rewatch my language. Kat and Jean bond while healing Rogue, which is really nice. Kat talked about how he and Rogue became family, which is really, really nice. And they've cemented that Mystique is his mother. With him being back in, I am craving her to be in it.
Yeah.
Especially with how insanely good Magneto is. He needs his Mystique for real. Like, he needs his Mystique by his side. Now is the time.
What's kind of crazy is I don't think they've ever interacted in this like continuity yet, which is pretty nuts.
That is nuts. That is something that they should do ASAP. I can't believe they haven't done yet. Do you think that's another thing that was like normalized by the movie?
I think it may have been, yeah. Because I mean, in fairness, like Mystique is actually not in a lot of the OG show. Like, she's in maybe 5-6 episodes throughout the run. Like, she is
that costume.
She's not there much in the original show. She's kind of there, like maybe once, twice a season. Like she because like she was in the first season. I think she was in the second season, and then I think she took like season 3 and 4 off. Like, she just wasn't there, and then she came back in the final season. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm waiting for her to show back up. Like, you know, she's in the intro. Everyone's just kind of waiting for her. Like we talked about last week, where like we thought maybe she was part of like the council, in like you know, taking over someone's body or whatever.
Do you it's hilarious. Lady Deathstroke's fingers. Deathstrike, Lady Deathstrike. You know, like I was thinking of X2, where she has like extra blades and stuff. You know,
right?
But in this, she just has like extra long fingers. You know, it's pretty trippy. So yeah, it was nice seeing Jean talk about Madeline so fondly.
Yeah.
And interestingly, now that she's gone, she's not so traumatized and hateful for all of the ties that she had to Madeline. Wow. You know, I think that's helping her grieve a little bit easier. Because like it's basically like a whole part of yourself has died. You know.
Yeah.
Like, so it's almost like Duplicate kind of had like an argument with herself and was like, you know, I'm fed up of this, and then just one of them popped.
Yeah.
So Val visits Magneto. So if I'm not mistaken, Val Cooper is one of the people that was putting Magneto on trial at the UN, right? Yeah. Okay, so she shares her displeasure of Genosha with Bastian, and then we get a crazy appearance of Dr. Doom and Zemo.
Yes.
Which begs the question, like, does Marvel have like its own Legion of Doom?
I think, you know, like, I think the show has done such a good job. We talked about this last week with like Captain America, but like they've done such a good job at just like expanding the Marvel universe without necessarily being at like crossover events. You know, like they haven't felt like forced to me, where to say yes, the show, like Ross is doing its own thing, like Steve's doing his own thing, Peter's doing his own thing, Zemo, Doctor Doom, you know, Captain Marvel inside the OG show, like they're all kind of doing their original, they're living their lives, and the X-Men are over here doing their thing, and then they're just crossing paths, and it doesn't feel like an event. They're just there, and that's cool. I think that's what comics are, whereas just characters are doing things at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like that.
Exactly. Okay. So there's a cabal with Norman Osborn, White Queen, Namor, Dr. Doom, Loki, the Hood, and Taskmaster. So they could be doing like their version of, which would be interesting.
Red Hulk, maybe.
The Hood, Parker Robbins. I want to come back to that one. So we Doctor Doom was helping him, which is interesting. I don't know why he would. He has no reason to, but no reason not to. They both
Sure.
work in robotics, so he could have offered him some advancements in his tech, which is really, really cool. Zemo helping, I think he just wants to hurt everybody. I don't know. So yeah. So then just the show does really, 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 really well. Like just holding a mirror up to society, in my opinion. And just showing you the hatred and prejudice and jumping to like the wrong and easy conclusion instead of taking time to find something out or be around somebody and make it like a genuine conclusion instead of just one that's based on misinformation or nonsense, is the way to go. So maybe we should try that. All good art imitates life, is what was said in the show. And I think that would be true to a degree. And this show is a great example of that.
Yeah. Oh, fully. Yeah. It gets real.
Yeah, it gets really real. Yes. And then as it gets really real, we also get some wonderful excitement, and that is Mother Bastion and the other Sentinels coming alive, which includes Trish. I forget her name. Trish Trilby, I think her name is, something like that. So yeah, she and Trish Trilby, who visited Beast after Val visited Magneto. I forgot to mention that. Who remained silent the whole time, and we saw his prisoner of war tattoo, which was sad, but a confirmation of which origin we got from Magneto.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of the Sentinels start waking up, and then we get the separated teams having a giant, massive fight. We got Cable, Jean, and Scott fighting. We get Sunspot, or Roberto, and Jubilee, and then we also get Beast, Morph, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler. Oh my god!
Might be my favorite fight scene of the show so far. That was so good.
It was amazing.
Oh my god!
Actually, I would argue this episode had two of the best fight scenes of the show. We have the one with Logan and Kurt, and then, not to jump ahead, but the one with when Logan's like falling out of the sky and he's just slicing down Sentinels.
Yeah,
so good.
That was so fast. So like Alan Cummings' Nightcrawler fight in the White House and this fight are the best Nightcrawler fights that there have ever been, hands down. Okay?
Having like the POV of you watching him like transport to one place to another was so cool.
I have an issue with
idea.
rewinding things, as anyone who knows me will know, and that got rewound a good couple of times. That was so cool. Oh my god. Because there are different versions of like how Nightcrawler teleports, like what happens through each, like in between each blip. So it was nice to get an answer to that as well. So that's definitely, I think, the favorite fight. Speaking of, I was gonna say, like I think Cyclops and Cable and Jean absolutely just demolishing dudes left, right, and center was second favorite. But not to be outshone, no pun intended, Sunspot, right? When he finally activates his powers, right? Like he looks great, but when he shoots his powers, that looks stunning. Like genuinely stunning. That looks beautiful. I cannot wait to see more of that. They've just up the animation. They just made it so much better. Yeah, we had 3 fights, and then we saw the OG painting burnt of the OG team. The mansion's gone again. Like, again. How many times have we rebuilt this goddamn place? Honestly, the amount of times, like, a housing inspector must have to come by to check the work that these guys have been doing. Like, I dread to think. They must have
their own speed dial.
Yeah, they've got their own worker. They've got their own worker at this point, their own appointee, you know? Like, that's how the government's going to have to do it. So this is another thing, right? Is like, yeah, triumphant things happening as the X-Men are surviving, but we also have to remember people are blowing up. These are like real live people that are now exploding.
Yeah.
You know, like, it is really, really sad. In an effort to stave off evolution extinction, you're just like throwing your people at the enemy like lemmings or like Cheez-Its or something, you know, like, yeah, how about them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, how is that helping anybody, you know? Especially because the X-Men are amazing, and they are just, you are not taking out the amount of people that you are losing. So you are really hurting your own cause. You talked about the teleport and how amazing that was. Really funny that Trish Trilby jumped on Wolverine or whoever it was and called him a filthy Neanderthal. Which, it's like, really, like, that's why you're created, is to now call him that. Like, you're like, you were worried about being that, which is the whole reason that, like, a whole Flashpoint time travel thing happened with past, present, future Bastion. I'm not getting into it, but it's just funny that after all of that, you're still coming out with stupid prejudice. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're here through that fear, and you're now doing it, you absolute moron. You know? So, yeah. It's funny, Jean's still in mummy mode, even though she wasn't. It was Madeline that was pregnant, because she sits like just telling Cable off and telling Scott off, telling the whole family off, and controlling them with seatbelts and things like that. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing Jean in that position. We see Sunspot has been practicing for the Danger Room, learning how to fly. At which point he's outed as a mutant in front of everybody, and his mother is put on a spot, and she shows that she is an absolute trash person. But, you know, it's horrendous. She shows what a piece of garbage she is.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, so literally, these robot dudes show up with their hands glowing, right? And then he bursts through the window, like, help, they're here to kill me, they're here to kill me. And then they just put their hand away and go, no, we're not. We're the good guys.
Yeah, I know. It's just nuts.
Like, no, I didn't.
Come with us,
That's
though.
not us.
Come over here. We want to talk to you outside, you know? And then
Sounds
his
like
mom's
the police.
like, yeah. And then his mom's like, oh, yeah, just go with them, Roberto. You better go with them. It's like, oh, my God, just throwing him out to the wolves, you absolute bitch. Why would you do that?
I can tell you why she did that, because there was probably shareholders at that party.
I know, and who cares about money for your son's safety like that? You know, it's just like,
And like, I feel like I could have maybe sympathy for her if the expressions on her face are better, right? If it was a situation of like, well, how do we? There's no way of stopping these robot things. Like, maybe, you know, in her mind she could be like, oh, maybe this is how he lives. But that's not the look on her face when they were taking him. That was this sucks, but this is what must happen. Like that
Yeah.
was the kind of look on her face, and it's just like, screw you, mom. Screw you.
So then Magneto gets freed by Trish Cooper, which is interesting because I genuinely thought that she was one of the Sentinel people. But then she ends up getting got kind of later as well. And then when Magneto is freed and Trish is giving her speech as to whether Magneto was right, he goes to the North Pole and just says, like, enough. And then the Earth is still. The day the Earth stood still because of Magneto. Keanu Reeves wasn't even involved. Nuts. And then at that point we get a Spider-Man, a Silver Samurai, and again, Darren, they're listening to our streams, buddy, because last week I asked for Omega Red. Who then turns up this week? Omega Red.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that when I seen him.
Like, it keeps happening. We keep saying stuff, and it keeps happening. I feel like I need a crystal ball or a magic 8 ball. Not that I want to think with balls. Point is, I might be psychic, you know. So
maybe.
And then we had Wolverine saying, "Where is the professor when you need him?" As they take a moment in all of the because Magneto just stops the Earth, and then all of the Sentinels just stop, right?
Shuts them down.
Yeah. Like, is it because they're like running off of like satellites that are now struggling? Like, he's blocked those off. Like, I don't understand.
They're obviously some form of robot, aren't they? They're mechanical. He's just set off an EMP. It's just everything's down.
Dude,
all electrics on. Yeah, all electrics on Earth. That's what he's just done, mate. He's just went up to the North Pole where his power is the most powerful because of the magnetic field, and he's just obliterated all electronics on Earth, basically.
Which is why I think Logan said he just started a war because.
Okay. I'm so glad you brought that up. I nearly forgot to bring this up. Right. So, one, I would argue that Genosha is a bigger declaration of war than this is. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, just the apps. Okay, but then both acts have the obliteration of thousands of innocents.
Yeah.
The only issue is that only happens in Magneto's side because of what Bastion did, right? So, like, if you can kind of look at all of those victims as like the people of like James Gunn's Suicide Squad with the starfish,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, they're already gone. You know what I mean? Like, they might be like automatons in their daily life, but the second somebody snaps them, they're out, they're gone. I don't think they're going back. You know,
I would be very, and I doubt they're actually going to be going into that, but I think Magneto had just killed like thousands upon thousands of people with this stuff. Because, like, think of every hospital, think of every peacemaker, think of every piece of like technology that are keeping people alive. Like, think of even people that live in like super cold areas. Like those, like that technology are probably killing them. You know, like the. Yeah, no, 100%. All the people that lost at sea. What about people that are like in like a submarine
planes?
How would the tides even work now?
I don't know.
How would what?
The tides.
He only set off an electric mode EMP. It's not like he changed the pulse of everything. You know, our tides are done by the gravitation.
Okay, but if he only released, I genuinely thought like he stopped the planet.
No.
Right, because if he only set off an EMP, how is the whole planet reacting to it?
Because he's just wiped out technology and electricity for everybody across the Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Which again, I'm very glad they did include Spider-Man, because like that's something that we had talked about like with every Arrowverse show, where it's just like, yes, this is a massive deal. Why isn't Supergirl here to help with the issue? Like, she would be also affected by this massive like worldwide event. Like the MCU does the same thing. Like there'll be like a massive thing in like a big city. It's like, so where's Spider-Man? Why isn't he helping out, right? So it makes sense with this to be like, yeah, Spider-Man would be like, yo, technology's gone. What am I gonna do? You know?
Yeah, especially as he uses his website to do. He's going to be like, depending on how they're doing, could be in trouble.
I wonder if Doc Ock can even walk about with those arms being useless.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Can you imagine the walk of shame he's doing right now? Do you know what I mean? Just walking around his warehouse, like trying to wake him up, like when your foot falls asleep and you start hitting it.
I do have to go.
How dare you?
It was lovely having you here. You said you're not here next week.
I'm not here next week now.
Okay.
I will be celebrating my birthday weekend.
Happy early birthday, buddy.
Weekend.
Thank you.
Your birthday weekend?
Yeah, the actual day is next Wednesday, but yeah.
Okay. I hope you have a wonderful time.
Well, thank you.
Happy birthday for Wednesday and the next weekend, apparently.
Hope you have a good birthday, dude.
All right, thank you.
Wait. So then, as Wolverine says, where is the professor when you need him? There is his big shiny head popping out of that dinky little spaceship that looks like a grasshopper. Oh my God, I lost my shit. Wow. Welcome back, Professor X. Darren and I were talking about...
Let's not forget, he sends out his psychic beam and calls the X-Men.
Yes. Yeah, it's like, to me, my X-Men.
And then you see all the old school X-Men, Storm, Jean, Wolverine, Cyclops, Beast, all of them. Oh.
Exactly how they would show up. So, like in a comic, like when you have the front of the comic and it's like Marvel and it has like the dramatic shot of what's happening that week. But then in like the top left or the top right near the price, you would have like the heads of who's appearing in the comic that week. Like that's what it was like. It was like a little comic book panel and it looked awesome. They just keep smashing it in every way. They just keep taking it to new heights, honestly, every week. Every week, I'm loving it. So is there anything because Darren and I were talking about Professor X and Magneto, and at what point they would interact or even be announced to the world that they're back, and then with the big EMP going off, I think it's clear to say that that's obviously Magneto, right? I don't think there's gonna be a lot of people on the planet that are like, I wonder who did that, especially with the current global climate, right?
The question is, though, it's like that woman that said that released Magneto, whatever her name is. She says, it's just like deja vu for her. Nothing's going to change. Everything's going to stay the same, But what are they? Is it going to be like a deja vu with Magneto doing the attack this time? The mutants are defending themselves and striking, Or are people just going to hold the grudge?
It depends how well the news do it, pushing their narrative of what it is.
Yeah.
But then how do they cope with one, obviously, because in order for these sentinels to exist now, they have to be mutated. So they're just replacing one set of mutants with another.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense.
But
there's a hypocrisy.
Yeah.
But knowing how they put out news, they'll probably hide the fact that they did this to all these humans, right? It will all just be, look what the mutants did. Look how they destroyed the Earth. Look how they lied about Charles and Stryker's dead, and then they took away our power and killed millions of whatever it is. So it's not looking good. I don't know.
Looking forward to Wednesday to find out.
I know. Only 2 left.
I know, it's a shame.
So how do we think it's going to finish like this season? Do you think like with the inclusion of like Doctor Doom, like Omega Red, like the wider universe that we're going to get, the introduction of another baddie, like in the meantime, do you think it's going to be the Shi'ar Empire? Like, what do you think will be? Do you think it'll be a consequence of this season or a fresh new horror next season?
I don't know. At first, I mean, up until this point, I would have said Charles coming back, right? I would have said, oh, like you end season 1, how you end season 5 of the original show. Like you end that show with him leaving, you end the show with him coming back. I don't know. I mean, you know, we've talked about the idea of maybe a Remy, something with Remy. Like, I could see them maybe doing, like, the death storyline with him, like, having Apocalypse or whatever bring him, or not Apocalypse, Sinister bring him back from the dead. I don't want that personally. I've given my opinion how I don't want them to do that. What else is up in the air? Maybe we wrap it up and we don't have a cliffhanger. I'm a huge fan of cliffhangers though. Like, I want like a.
I would
want
like
something-
to see a clip of Forge and Cable in the future at some point, though.
Oh, yeah. Bishop's still MIA, so maybe something with Bishop.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Sorry to cut you off there, Darren.
Oh, no. That's all right. Yeah, I don't know. Charles would have been my bet, so I'm out of options.
I'm surprised that he just stopped with a big EMP, but I guess that's like a big enough statement. So yeah, I've removed some of my previous questions. Okay, so it is getting pretty late. I do have some other stuff that I want to talk about, but I can save it till next week.
Yeah, please do.
Both Darren and Liam are very tired, so we will leave it there and wait.
This gives me time to watch the other stuff, that's all.
Yeah, yes.
As tired as I am.
Knuckles, a Netflix movie called Incantation, I believe it is. It's a Taiwanese film. Please watch it in subbed, not dubbed, okay? Because apparently it makes the world of difference. Shout out to Mr. Gigi on
All right, I'm
YouTube.
waving and no one can see me.
Mr. Gigi, I think it's Mr. Gigi. I think it's like that.
Mr. Worldwide.
I think so. I think it's like that. So basically, he recommended this movie on his channel and has tried it dubbed, and despite the best efforts, apparently there is a difference. So watch it subbed, and you'll be terrified. And then Late Night with the Devil was a really, 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 really good movie. I think it was made with Shudder. It's David the Small Chin as Jack, a late night host, striving for the #1 spot against Johnny Carson, I believe. And it's told really, really well. It's like Blair Witch-esque in that there's a lot of like, both movies are actually. Well, no, the second movie is more. It's super handheldy, but the other one, it's the cameras of what's happening on the show, but also like found footage of what happened around in between each scene and take, like what happened on the set kind of thing. Really, 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 really good. David the Small Chin could genuinely be a TV personality doing what Jimmy Fallon does and goddamn nailing it. Guy's smooth as hell. Late Night with the Devil, absolute watch. The Incantation. Knuckles, I'm 2 episodes in, I think of 8 or 10. I don't know how many there are. So far, a lot of fun. Idris Elba working opposite the guy from, I want to say, Happy Endings. Was it some? I forget. But the guy that's playing Wade, he's doing a fantastic job. Adam Pally, Adam Pauly. He was. I forgot he was in Iron Man 3. But yeah, we'll discuss all of that, Nick.
You know the dude that voices Bastion.
Yes.
If you want to watch a movie with him, and it's going to take you by surprise, go watch The In-Betweeners.
Oh my God, he is in that.
Yes.
Oh my God, I
You know exactly who he is.
who
Now.
that is. Oh. Oh.
He's such a good actor. He's in a Time
Oh.
Traveler's Wife that I watched a couple
Yeah,
years
that's
ago.
a great movie as well.
Great show. Yeah.
He has
And
one
he-
of the best scenes in that movie. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Oh, no, that's all right. And then he's also in that HBO show as well. What's it called? I don't know. It's not coming to me. It's fine.
It's so stupid. Okay, that's finished me. I need to go. Right. So,
You're welcome.
Wait, I have one last thing.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Star Wars Day, right?
Oh yes,
Tomorrow's
thank you.
May the 4th be with you.
Uh-huh.
How the hell I needed to be reminded to tell everybody that. Oh my God.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What do you call small potatoes that have turned to the dark side?
Oh, go on.
Vader tots. So stupid.
That's good. So yes, May the 4th tomorrow. May the 4th be with everybody. Enjoy some Star Wars. Fortnite is doing a really good Star Wars theme thing. I'll be spending some lightsabers tomorrow. Like I've been meaning to do it for days, but I'll have to do it tomorrow. But today is still my beloved's birthday. So once again, happy birthday. I'm beyond lucky to be yours, and I love you more than I could ever say. I just wish to make you happy always. So yes, thank you everybody for stopping by. We'll see you all next week. We'll be discussing the second part of the three-part finale of X-Men and losing our shit because it's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
I'm psychic. I can see it. So yes, thank you everybody. See you later.
Peace out, guys.